Alrighty. Well, I'm just getting ready to get up now. Work was canceled today, so I'm going to do some things outside. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. An old friend of mine called, and we were having a good conversation anyway. So that's why I still haven't went out and started my day. Really, Rocky's asleep in his box. Maybe we can see him. Eh? There he is. Yeah, you. He's been sleeping peacefully in his box. But I was talking about Aunt Marilyn there. She wasn't really my aunt. She was my half sister's aunt. Myself and my half sister have the same dad but different moms. And Aunt Marilyn was my sister's mother's sister, if that makes any sense. And she was really severe. Like she was a very severe person. She was not. She was tough as nails. That woman, and she could be quite nasty too. Like she could be really vicious. But I don't remember. In the earlier video today, I talked a little bit about her dog, her and her dog, and how the dog had to come and live with my sister and her mother because Marilyn had moved into a building that didn't allow pets. And Marilyn would come over every Saturday to see her dog. She did love her dog, I will say that for her. She really did love her dog. But she had these long fingernails. And like she was an old lady with a very severe, she had that look about her even that you knew this is a very severe person. This is somebody you don't want to fool around with, basically. Anyway, and she had this, of course, she dyed her hair kind of an orangey red color, and it would all be piled up on the top of her head like a beehive. And she had these thick glasses that were like very, the big kind of lenses that were squared off and stuff. And she was a very severe looking person, anyway. You know, anyway, she had this little dog, Echo, and she'd come and she'd pet Echo, sit on the couch. Echo would get up on her lap, and she'd spend the afternoon just sitting there, loving Echo up, petting Echo and stuff. Anyway, and I was telling about how she'd be sitting there petting Echo with the long fingernails. She used to wear these long like Lee press on nails, these red nails, and she'd pet the dog, like you have to, you know, and she'd be, oh, Echo, sexy lover, and all that. Well, I got to tell you, it's kind of a comical story in a way, but it's also kind of a sad story. Towards the end of Marilyn's life, when she was getting quite old and feeble and so on, her mind I think her mind started to go a bit. She had always been very sharp-minded, but at the end there, she started to lose it a little bit or whatever. And the last time she drove a car, because she wasn't allowed to drive anymore after she did this, but the last time she drove a car, she was going grocery shopping. And there was a big grocery store. It was like an anchor store of a strip mall. They always have that big store at the end of the strip mall that's considered an anchor store, and it often is a big grocery store. Well, that's where she was going. Anyway, when she got into the mall parking lot, for whatever reason, she parked her car inside one of the other stores. One of the little stores that was part of the mall there. She just drove her car right through the store. And so now her car is right through the front window of this store and is in the store. Fortunately, nobody was hurt or anything, but there was a lot of property damage. And what did she do? She just got out of her car and she went down to the grocery store and she bought her groceries. And when she came back to the car, of course, the police were there and everything. She just very nonchalantly stepped back in to the store where her car was, and she started loading her groceries into the car, just as if nothing had happened, like it was just an everyday occurrence. Anyway, that was the last time she was allowed to drive a car. They took her license away from her then. I guess they figured that, probably this is somebody who needs to hang up the keys, and so that's what happened. But yeah, I remember that, though. that was at the toward that was close to the end of her life, like the last year or two that she was alive, and that's what she did anyway. But her nickname was the drill sergeant because she was so severe, you know. Anyway, that's the story. That's the story of one story about Aunt Marilyn anyway. But I mean, I could just picture her doing that. I think if you knew her, this story would be even more funny if you knew her, because I could picture her doing that. Just getting out of the car after she's driven it into the store and walking down to the mall to the grocery store and getting her groceries and coming back and putting them in the car, just as if nothing strange had happened, In the meantime, the police had shown up, and they're kind of like, what the, like, does she not realize that she has parked her car inside a store? Like, she's literally driven through the plate glass window into the store, you know? Anyway, that's the story. It's kind of a comical story in a way. It's also kind of sad, though. But yeah, anyway, that's just another story I was just thinking about with Aunt Marilyn. I have to get ready to go outside now. I got things to do. I got to go get a regulator for that stove that I bought. I got to get some stuff done around here too. There's lots to do. There's never a shortage of things to do here at Camp Crazy, It's true. Just because we're crazy doesn't mean we're idle. Not at all. Anyway, we'll see you later.